I'm so proud and so zapped at the same time. It's a surreal moment. It's been amazing. I mean, we just wrote history today and brought this World Cup trophy home, which is unbelievable.
There are many championships with the word world in them that do not represent the globe. The Baseball World Series is North America only. The NBA World Championship, same thing. But the World Cup of international football is just that, the paring down of pretenders to the one team that is truly best on the planet. One group of exceptional athletes lived with the mantra of second best for 4 years. And on a brilliant Vancouver afternoon this 4th of July weekend, they ripped down that banner, put up a new one, the United States World Cup champions. Our guest has covered soccer for Esquire and the American magazine Howler, soccer that is. His article in the Daily Beast insists this women's World Cup team is one of the all-time greats no matter the gender. Ryan Jones joins the Hardline. Ryan, thanks for joining us, and I have to start right out by telling you you're the only guy in any article anywhere in the world today that said, and I quote, "This U.S. win felt like a solid middle finger to Sepp Blatter and his cronies." Congratulations, young man. Nice job.
Thank you, Ed. I appreciate it.
But it is, though, in many ways, isn't it? Because before we get to the United States win and what it was, Sepp Blatter and FIFA really treated the Women's World Cup like it was a stepchild from start to finish. And really are lucky they didn't get away with a lot more injuries in a really badly played tournament.
Yeah, the turf was an issue, and it was very much in keeping with the way FIFA has viewed the women's game for a long, long time. It was kind of ironic last night, or fitting, I guess, to see when they came out for the trophy presentation, the line of models, basically, in those sort of slinky black dresses and heels who walked out on that turf. I'm sure they could barely stand on that stuff, to be there for the award presentation just as window dressing. Meanwhile, you've got these incredibly athletic, talented, tough women who just went and competed and won this trophy. And the sort of contrast there was pretty telling, sort of where FIFA thinks women should be and how they've treated them, and where the women, and certainly the American women in this case, really are, and where they've taken the game. Knowing
full well that FIFA has to change and that Sepp Blatter himself, if there is a soccer god, will be doing some time somewhere for all that he's been involved in. But is that going to change any now, even after looking at this tournament? Because it was so well played, but you still get the feeling there's going to be that gender inequity, and FIFA will just look at it as a bunch of girls.
I think you're going to start to see the change. I think they've realized that there's so much international uproar now from the countries that make up their federation, that make up their membership. It's not just, relatively sort of advanced progressive countries like the U.S. It's countries all around the world who've realized, hey, this is a great sport, and it's the world sport, and it's the women playing it at a high level, just like the guys. And in countries like the U.S., where the women's team has been much better, by comparison, the men's team has, the interest is incredibly high. And you saw that in the ratings. You saw that in the crowds, the American fans who went up to Canada and went to these games. So I think you're going to see so much change in FIFA in general. We're already starting to see it, and we'll continue to see it, obviously, through this scandal. And I think part of that absolutely will benefit the women's game, because I think inevitably the treatment's going to get better, certainly in time for the next World Cup. I'm very optimistic about that.
Okay, Ryan, I got about 2 minutes left. Here you go. I put it to you. The title of your article, 2015 U.S. Women's World Cup champions are an all-time great team of either gender. Make the case. I think it's a pretty easy one to make after what we saw.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things I wrote, I think, is that it really, by the end of this tournament, it really wasn't about gender. You didn't feel like you were watching, a great women's sport. It was a great team playing at a high level, playing terrific soccer. It was entertaining. It wasn't a lot of tension in last night's game, obviously, but there was tension throughout the tournament for the U.S. And the thing I liked about this team, you call them an all-time great. Sometimes that sort of implies start to finish dominance. That wasn't what happened with this team. They weren't that convincing early on, but they had to figure it out themselves. The coaching staff had to figure out the best way to use their players. The players sort of had to step up and had to be challenged and had to sort of show that they could be better than they showed early in the tournament. They did that, saved their best for last, dominated a very good Japanese team. So, I think when you take a team that does that wins a legitimate world championship and plays their best at the end, I think that's a real claim for greatness right there.
I got about 45 seconds left. Isn't it fair to say that everybody's asking now, will this make women's soccer in America better? Will this increase attendance? The same thing we heard in 2011, in 1999, and years before. Isn't it fair to say, hey, everybody, back off a little bit. Just enjoy what you saw, because the game at this level is so much different than the professional level in America.
It is. And it's the question that men have been asked many times over the past 20, 30 years. You've seen MLS now is at a really successful level. The Women's Pro League is not going to be at that level for a while, if ever, but certainly this will raise the interest level for it. And the national team, I think, obviously, the foundation's great right now. You have a lot of young players who had a chance to establish themselves and will continue to do for the next few years. So if nothing else, the national team level is really strong right now, and the next World Cup's going to be a blast.
You're not on Sepp Blatter's Christmas card list, are you?
I hope not, man.
You can send him a Christmas card, but I'll tell you what, that middle finger, if you send it to him, cut him out and send it to him. I think there's a lot of people in America who would sign it and say, excellent job. Ryan Jones, thanks so much for joining us. Great article, my friend. We'll talk again.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
All right, take care. Again, men, women, made no difference. Great game. Congratulations, ladies. All right, telling it like it is next. A perfect microcosm of who and what we are this 4th of July weekend.